Today is February 4th, 2026. Sending a happy birthday to Rosa Parks, who would have turned 113 years old if she was still alive. So, special day in Black History today. And I think today is the perfect day to go over, just briefly go over a lot of the black icons who we've been, you know, told were important by our education system. People like Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, MLK, of course, people like Barack Obama, etc., etc. When I was in school, these were the people, these were the names that, teachers kept repeating to us, and we had forcing us to learn about. And I'm like, why is Harriet Tubman important again? Well, because she did this, and she escaped slavery, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, never really cared, to be honest. But now that I understand gematria, I decided to go back in history and just learn a little bit more about the story behind these people. And I feel like I'm happy that I didn't care in school, because everything that they taught us in school was all a lie. It was all a lie. And if you ask me, I think that, people like Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, MLK, Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, I mean, you name it, especially Barack. I see Kobe up here. We all know about Kobe Bryant, the guy who scored 40, who had 60 points in 42 minutes in his last NBA game. If you ask me, I think all of these people were all agents. All agents. And if you're wondering to who, to the Jesuit order, to the Catholic Church. All of these people were not trying to, stand up for slavery and freedom. All that stuff was just a hoax. A hoax. And it's obvious because a lot of these people, they wasn't even born the names that they were known as. Like, for example, Harriet Tubman. She wasn't born Harriet Tubman. Her actual name, you can actually Google this. Look at this. She was born, I forgot her how to pronounce it. Araminta Ross. So why is her name, how do you go from Araminta Ross to Harriet Tubman? Like, I understand if she would have kept the Ross, Harriet Ross, but she changed her first and last name. How come? Well, when you understand gematria, then you understand why. It's because the name Harriet Tubman equals 201 and 84, just like the Jesuit order. That's why. And keep in mind that you see how Wikipedia, they don't have a birthday for her. It just said that she was born on March in the year 1822. I did read, actually, it was in a book. I should have took a screenshot. I mean, a photo of it. I went to the library earlier today, and there was a book that says that she was actually born on March 1st, 1822. But on the internet, I cannot find that anywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a photo of the book that I read today, and I'm gonna upload the photograph to my YouTube community post. I'm gonna show you guys that her birthday, according to the book that I read at the library, her birthday is March 1st. And if that is her accurate birthday, I mean, you guys all know about the story that she supposedly escaped through the Underground Railroad. She supposedly did that 201 days after her birthday, if her birthday was March 1st. And I'll show you guys on the screen. So, Underground Railroad Harriet Tubman. I guess you can write it like this. Okay, so let me see escape date. I'm gonna play a couple of videos that are like 4 minutes long, so you guys can listen to like the overall background story behind all these Jesuit pawns. Okay, so actually it wasn't. I don't know if I said December, but it was September 17th, 1849. That's actually the Constitution's birthday. Okay, so Harriet Tubman escaped from slavery in Maryland on September 17th, 1849, traveling approximately 90 miles north to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, so look, 9/17, 1849. And like I said, her birthday, again, is not official. It's not official. But I'm gonna show you guys the page, the book that I got the information from. But notice from March 1st, which is what the book says. I'm again, this is not official. But let's assume it is. From March 1st, it would have been the 201st day of her age. If that is her birthday. Which is also the 60th day of the year. So it's very possible that is her birthday. We know the N word is 60. I don't know why the internet is not doesn't know her date of birth. Nowhere on the internet can you find her date of birth. It just says March 1822. Everywhere you look. I mean, they know Frederick Douglass' birthday, and he was born before her. Well, actually, they don't. I guess people who was born in the 1800s, they don't have an accurate birthday. But look, it says here that Frederick Douglass was born on Valentine's Day. So, I mean, some sources on the internet do have his accurate birthday. But when it comes to Harriet Tubman, you cannot find her birthday nowhere. But it is interesting that from March 1st to September 19th, the day that she supposedly planned her escape on the Underground Railroad, it was the 201st day of her age, when her name, Harriet Tubman, equals 201. And it's also 84. It's also 60, because of course the N word is 60. It's also 150 like Illuminati. So this is the real reason she had her name changed to Harriet Tubman. What a fitting name. He just wrote a 201 and 84. And again, 201st day of her age, she traveled 90 miles north to Philadelphia after escaping on the Underground Railroad. And notice Underground Railroad. Look at this. This is what I'm saying. All this stuff is just all bullshit. All bullshit history. Underground Railroad. 102. Underground Railroad is 102, just like slavery. Because the N word is also 102. I don't know. You guys tell me if you guys think all this stuff is real. Okay, so there. So, oh man, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so Harriet Tubman, and then think about it, right? They a few years ago they said that they wanted to replace Abraham Lincoln and put her on the $20 bill. I think you guys want to think. I don't. I think they went away from that. But I think the reason they want to put Harriet Tubman, a slave, on the dollar bill is because slavery is still going on, you guys. I think that's what the symbology of that is. Slavery is still going on. And when you go to your slave job to work your 9 to 5, the reflection of 59, of course, slavery is 59. When you go to your 9 to 5, it's to earn $20, right? Your dollar. So you're getting this dollar with this slave on it in exchange for your time and your labor. That's what I think it's all about. I think that's what but I guess they went away from that, right? I don't think they I think Let me see. I think they eliminated that idea. Yeah, yeah. I think they were. Yeah, it was initially planned for 2020, but it says that it was delayed. But so maybe okay. So maybe in 2030 they'll execute it, but I doubt it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. A proposed Harriet Tubman Tribute Act of 2025 seeks to formally require the Treasury to include her on bills printed after December 31st, 2030. Okay, so maybe we got another 4 years before we see her on the $20 bill. We'll see. Yeah, but that's what I think. I think that was the whole purpose of that. Think about you slave away for 40 hours a week, and then you cash this check, and there it is, Miss Harriet Tubman on the bill. Here, slave. Here's what you earned this week. A nice crispy Harriet Tubman $20 bill. Yeah, Rosa Parks, another one of these figures that they forced us to learn about in school. Oh, she's important because she refused to stand up when the white man told her to go to the back of the bus. And I said, okay, that's pretty brave of her. That's what I thought, when I kept hearing these same stories over and over in social studies. I'm like, oh my God, do I really care about Rosa Parks? I really don't. But now as an adult, I actually do care. And I don't care because of what they supposedly did. I care because now I know gematria and I know what they've been doing to black people throughout history. It's actually a lot more disgusting than making black people sit in the back of the bus or slaving. Like I actually think that the things that these people supposedly stood for were a lot less concerning than the things that are actually happening to black people. Like what the Jesuits have done to black people throughout history is a lot worse. A lot worse. 100 million times worse than forcing them to sit in the back of the bus. Like I feel like that's petty. Oh, sit in the back of the bus? Okay, no problem. I'll sit in the back of the bus. But what these people were put through, I think is way more disgusting. I mean, all these 42 rituals over and over and over again. I mean, Chadwick Boseman, you guys all should know about Chadwick Boseman, the guy who played Jackie in a film called 42, and then ends up dying in 2020 when Jackie Robinson Day was moved from April to August. He ends up dying on Jackie Robinson Day at the age of 42. The guy who played Jackie in a movie called 42. I mean, I feel like that's way more disgusting than any of the stories that these people supposedly overcame in our history books, right? Like slavery and the bus and MLK and Malcolm X and their whole beefs, whatever they had going on. I feel like the Jesuits have done a lot worse to the black community, and it's through these numbers. Okay, look at this, right? So I was looking into the Rosa Parks, right? The Rosa Parks story. Again, today's her birthday, and today's date it can be written /2 like the number 42. If you didn't know, the word bus, I mean BUS 2 21 19 added up is 42, right? B the second letter use the 21st 19 as is the 19th. So 2 plus 21 plus 19 equals 42. So the word bus has a value of 42. Also has a value of 39, like how Malcolm X and that's another number important to Black history. Malcolm X and MLK both died at the age of 39. But bus equals 42. This lady has the 4/2 birthday. And you guys want to take a guess how old she was when she was asked to sit in the back of the bus? If you said she was 42 years old, you're absolutely right. She was 42 years old. And we can actually confirm it here. So Rosa Parks incident date. It happened on December 1st. That's a date leaving 30 days remaining. Right, there's 31 days in December. So December 1st, there's 30 days left until the end of the year. 42 and 30. I mean, have we seen these numbers before? We have. Look, 42 and 30. So she's 42 years old, and it's actually she has this incident on the bus on the date even 30 days remaining in the year. Of course, slavery is 42 and 30, right? And just to show you, look, December 1st, 1955. And her alleged birthday is 2/4/1913. So yeah, look, she was 42 years old, you guys. She was so think about a 42-year-old black woman being told to sit in the back of the bus on the date even 30 days left in the year. So think about it. What's worse? What the Jesuits are doing to her at the what is worse, the ritual or the fact that she's being forced to sit in the back of the bus? I think the ritual is a lot worse because not only is the ritual hidden, it's hidden in plain sight against these numbers that represent slavery and racism. Stuff is disturbing, to be honest. And then think about it. Where did she die? She dies in Detroit, which sits on the 42nd meridian. And of course, she was born in Tuskegee, Alabama. And think about Tuskegee, right? Tuskegee also equals 42. You guys all should know about the Tuskegee Airmen. These black air. Actually, I have a video that explains it better. But there was these guys who worked for the Air Force, and at that time there was a I forgot the word that they used, but um what is it called, man? Let me see if I can find the word. What is it called when a man cannot swim? A stereotype, man. For some reason, that's the word I'm looking for. Stereotype. Okay, so yeah, there's a stereotype that black men that can't swim, right? Supposedly, I know a lot of black men that can swim. I don't know where that stereotype came from, but there was a stereotype at that time that black men cannot fly a plane. So they came up with the Tuskegee Project, which I'm also gonna play so you guys can learn a little bit more about it. It's only like a 4-minute video. But guys, remember, yeah. So Tuskegee equals 42, and so but basically what the army did was they deployed these men to go into Africa to kill Africans, and this happened on April 2nd, on 4/2. The Tuskegee Airmen were the first African American military pilots, navigators, bombardier, bombardiers, and support staff in the U.S. Army Air Forces, training at Alabama's Tuskegee University during World War II. Nicknamed Red Tails for the aircraft's painted markings. Yeah, so they deployed these guys. They deployed these guys into Africa to kill black men on April 2nd. Yeah, on April 2nd, 1943, the 99th Fighter Squadron. The 99th, of course, racism is 99. You guys all should know about that number. It came up in the George Floyd killing. The first all-black combat unit departed Tuskegee Army Airfield in Alabama for North Africa. So on April 2nd, they send these black guys who they just learned how to fly planes. They sent them into Africa to kill black people on April 2nd. And again, Tuskegee. $42 and $30, by the way. There's your 93 for another MLK number. Yeah, but $42 and $30 again. So yeah, so born in Tuskegee, which equals 42. Rosa Parks was. Dies in Detroit, which sits on the 42nd parallel. Think about Martin Lawrence. Had the sitcom Martin in Detroit. Lived in apartment 42. The name Martin is 42 and 30, just like Shanae, his neighbor. Of course, Shanae is just Martin as a drag queen. Notice, Steve for 42 and 30, Martin 42 and 30. He plays Shanae. 42 and 30. Forced to wear a wig and some heels and speak like a ghetto queen. More stereotypes. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, Rosa Parks, man, another agent used for the 42 agenda. Harriet Tubman, another agent used by the Jesuit order in another racial divisive propaganda ritual. The Underground Railroad, which is 102 like slavery. On the 201st day of her age, she escapes and heads to Philadelphia. Of course, Tubman, she died at the age of 91. She was 91 years old when she passed away. Same thing with Frederick Douglass. I mean, all of these people were all given names that fit the narrative. Frederick Douglass, 177 like the Jesuit order, 102 like slavery and the nigger and the N-word. Maya Angelou. Notice her birthday is April 4th, the day that MLK was assassinated in history on 4/4. MLK died on her 40th birthday, but she died on May 28th, 54 days after her birthday, when Jesuit order is 54. Maya Angelou. And the funny part about her is she wasn't even born Maya Angelou. That's what I'm saying. These people are forced to change their names so they can fit the narrative. She got 86 on the day with 67 numerology. Yeah, she died at the age of 86 because blood sacrifice is 67 and 86, like human sacrifice. And again, she died 54 days after her birthday on the day with 67 numerology. All these blacks, supposedly black figures, black icons. People were no good, man. There it is, 86. Her name is 86 as well. Her birth name, actually, Marguerite Johnson. Marguerite is 54, like Jesuit order. 153, like Jesuit order. She died 54 days after her birthday. You see, like I said in the beginning, you know, when I was in school, this stuff was boring to me. I didn't care about Harriet Tubman. I didn't care about Rosa Parks. But now that I understand what they was really put through, not that I care, I still don't care. But it's like, wait, they wasn't put through anything. They participated in the racism. Because again, these were agents. From Kobe Bryant to Rosa Parks to Frederick Douglass to Maya Angelou to Prince to Malcolm X, these were government agents So it's not that there's nothing like they participated in the racial divisiveness that goes on in this country. They participated in it, and that's the thing. Like when I hear people say that they deserved it, and like they deserve to die or whatever. I don't know about that, man. I feel like there's something deeper going on. Because a lot of people say, well, who cares about Kobe Bryant because he's a sellout, and if he did die in a helicopter crash, he deserved it. I don't know if all these people, like, it doesn't make sense to me still. Why are all of these people participating? I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of them know. Like, there's no way they don't know what's going on. What is making these people participate? Like, how am I gonna say, you know what? Maybe it's the money. Maybe that's all it takes. Maybe it's just money and fame. Maybe that's all it took to convince these people to participate in a 42 shaming ritual. Maybe that's all it took. But I don't think that's all it took. It was just money. I think there's something deeper that's making these people want to participate in this. Something that we haven't figured out yet. Cause I'm like, yo, there is no amount of money that you can give me that will make me dress up as Shanae. Like if I'm gonna have my own sitcom, I'm gonna run the show how I want it to run. And looking at the Martin Lawrence show, it's obvious he didn't run that show the way he wanted. You know, he was told that he was going to be working out of apartment 42. He was given the name Martin. And that character Shanae, that name was given to him. That wasn't it. It didn't come from Martin's creativity. You get what I mean? Somebody was telling, like, listen, you're gonna dress up as Shanae, right? You're gonna be Shanae Jenkins. You're gonna look just like this on TV. You're gonna say, "Oh my goodness," and sound real ghetto and ratchet. You're gonna look like a very stereotypical project chick with low education, low manners. You're gonna dress very flamboyant, and we're gonna give you a name that equals 42. See, these were not the plans of Martin Lawrence. You see, so that's what I'm saying. Like, why are they Like, maybe it is just the money, but I think it's something deeper. Kobe Bryant, right? Like because I like to watch his final game because it has so much symbolism. Even when he scored his 58th point, he did it in 41 minutes. Of course, Kobe Bryant is 41 and 58. There was so much symbolism in his final game. Go back if you have the chance. Go back and watch the last 5 minutes of that game. The numbers that they put on the screen is gonna blow your mind. He was on the free throw line, 42 minutes, scoring his 60th point, and they put it right on the screen, 42 and 60. And right before that, he had 59 points, 42 and 59. Once you understand the numbers, it's gonna blow your mind. And I was looking at it, I'm like, how can somebody be this energetic when they're being shamed the way he is? Or are they being shamed? Maybe we're saying that they're being shamed, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're fulfilling a prophecy. You know? Maybe they were born to be niggers. maybe this nigger word is not as bad as we think it is. Maybe it means God, or maybe it means amazing, and we're just being taught that it means something negative. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe slavery is just another word for, heaven. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but these people are all participating in it, and it's difficult for me to believe that they don't know what's going on. They know. They know. Especially when you see them, posing with their Masonic pose like Harriet Tubman and so many others. This guy born during Black History, killed during Black History Month, has a name that equals 102. This lady, 54 days after her birthday, dead on a 67th date numerology. She knew what she signed up for. Not an accident. MLK. We all know about MLK and his ritual. Synced up with Malcolm X. Both dead at 39. Ms. Rosa Parks, 42-year-old, refuses to sit in the back of the bus. Ms. Harriet Tubman, on the 201st day of her age, decides to escape the Underground Railroad. The woman born in Tuskegee dies in Detroit on the 42nd parallel. You see, these things become a lot more interesting when you know Gematria and you know what's really behind all of it. But there's still a lot of questions that I don't have any answers to. And I was gonna play these videos, but I'm not gonna play these videos anymore because I don't really care to hear more of the bullshit that the BBC News is gonna tell us about their story. Their stories are irrelevant. I want to know the Jesuits' reason. I want to interview one of these people and ask them like, why? Obviously Rosa Parks doesn't exist anymore. She passed away. I think it was 2014, 2005. Yeah, I knew her death was recent. It wasn't that long ago. Yeah, she died in 2005. But if I had the chance, I would ask her, like, who forced you to fabricate this story? You know? And you guys want to take a guess, the number of the bus? There was a number inside of the bus. Let me show you. I took a screenshot. Take a look. Actually, did I delete it? I know where it is. I'll find it. So once that ad leaves, I'll show you. Yeah, there was a big 59 on inside the bus, and it's right underneath it says "Black people to the rear." I mean, who put that 59 there? So think about it. The arrest was fake. This whole story was fake. Here it is. Actually, not 59. It's 509, but we know zeros are not. They don't count in numerology. So 509. No smoking. Colored seat from rear. All right. So 59, huh? Of course, slave equals 59 if you didn't know. Slave is 59, Negro 59, Blues 59. Of course, Motown was founded in 1959. Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year every year, except on leap years. It sparked the civil rights movement. All of these stage events, man. Um, I could probably play a video. You know what? You know why I don't want to play the video? Because I don't want to hear the propaganda. I don't want to hear the lies. I'm tired of the lies. They told us the lies in school, and we all had to be forced to believe it. I think it's time for us to learn the truth. Because you have to like realize like these are the most prominent black people in history, right? And how were they able to convince Maya Angelou, Malcolm X, MLK? I mean, these are probably Frederick Douglass. These are probably you can say 20 of the most important black people to have ever existed. What was told to these people to convince them that being shamed in a 42 ritual was the right thing to do? That somehow that's the best thing for mankind. Or maybe they didn't have a choice. Maybe they said, you know what, either you do it or you'll get 86th like Maya Angelou. Your choice. Maybe it was that. Maybe they was just too afraid to say no. I don't know. But yeah. So if you guys want, you can continue to do some more research. I just wanted to show people like these people that we've been told were like heroes in Black history were nothing else but Jesuit pawns. I don't even think we had any heroes, especially if you see any of these people on your dollar bill, or we have like a holiday celebrating them. Then you know for a fact these people were not on our side. All right, but yeah, if you want to further the research, I would really appreciate it. Please leave a comment. Helping us understand this better. Tell me what you think. Um, the question I want you guys to help me answer is like, what made these people want to participate in it? You think it was the money? Maybe they was forced. Maybe there's something deeper. Maybe there's a afterlife, and if they go out by the 42 code, somehow they make it into the afterlife. I don't know. Help me understand. Help me understand, because I don't know. I don't know what forced Rosa Parks to fake her arrest like that. I mean, she looks like a pretty decent person. Why did she turn her back on the entire African American community in exchange for what? Let me take this call and then we can close it out. Hello, what's going on, Fresco?
I want to answer your question. Ask that question again.
My thing is, what do you think made these people want to participate in the racial shaming?
In the racial shaming, first you gotta ask, did they even look at it that way? Because we all know how the government rolls. They're coming they come with this with their bullshit, and they know how to put a bow on bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think they knew what they were getting into before they got into it. But to answer your question, what made them do it was the reward for what they were doing. They believed that they were making a great change, and when in actuality, they was taking us away from owning and controlling our shit. And us, I mean black, so-called black people. That's what I think. I think they was incentivized, commissioned to do their evil bidding, but they disguised it as help or ascension for black folks when it wasn't ascension. It was like a coup. It was to get us away from doing for self. Actually,
Hmm.
you know, it it they knew that we were. I don't want to say, how can I put this? They knew we'd been here. They knew we'd been here, and they didn't want us to find out. And they, as in the government, the corporation, didn't want us to find out that this is originally our land. So they had to keep finding ways to classify us. And along with that, they had to make it look good to get us to jump on board with the shit. It wasn't always just, oh, they beat us, they tortured us. No, they could. They it didn't go down like that. They had to. They couldn't really beat us physically, so they had guns and shit. But eventually, the gunplay was going to wear out too. So they had to find a way to really beat us where we couldn't beat them, and that was on paper. The pen is mightier than the sword. So once they gave us a new title and everything, that gave room and made and kind of made propaganda from that shit to make the masses jump on board. That's what did it. You know, they took they took us away from it, and they call it Black History and all that shit. When it really wasn't, because you look at MLK, he was the agent. He was definitely an agent. And Malcolm X, I don't want to say he was an agent. I think he was radical, and they couldn't do nothing with him, so they killed him. But either way it goes, they're gonna kill you. But all in all, they gave MLK the holiday, but they didn't give none for Malcolm X. So there you go.
Yeah, because I think you know what my original thought was maybe they looked at it like, okay, you can be this make believe legend in Black history. All you have to do is, you do this, this, and this, and then you'll forever be remembered as this icon. And I think that was enough for them to be like, you know what, my name will live forever. I'll be this, this iconic figure in Black history. Let me do this, and then I'll be remembered for this reason.
Look and really pay attention to the people they tell you to revere. I don't know. You ever heard of Dane Calloway?
That definitely sounds familiar, but I don't remember. I don't exactly
He
remember it.
he exposed how Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner story was all made up, a made up folklore to get us some type of hope, a hero.
You
A
said
little
David Calloway.
Dane Calloway.
Spell his first name.
Dane, D-A-N like Dane Dad. Well, no, I'm sorry. D-A-N-E like Great Dane.
Yeah, I don't see it. It's such a.
D-A-N-E Calloway. Calloway. O-W-A-Y, my bad.
Yeah, no. I don't. This not the guy I was talking about.
Okay.
It was a different one. Hey, I don't know who this is.
But he exposed how they lied about slavery. They lied about everything. And I didn't get all this information from him. I knew we wasn't, because I always talk to my people and ask them about the African shit. And it was a certain point in time we wasn't calling ourselves African American or even black. So, you know, it's all the energy extraction. Like, okay, you all claim this title now. You all are this now. We got somebody that look like you to say we need to be called this, or we need to tag along to this and be this so we can be a better, formidable citizen of society according to their system. It's always been like that. From Al Sharpton, who's a rat, Jesse Jackson, who's a traitor. I mean, I can go down the line. Barack Obama.
Yeah, but okay. That's okay. Look, okay. You brought up a good name, not Jesse Jackson. What's the other guy? Al Sharpton.
Uh-huh.
But actually both of them, Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Like they're obviously not for the black community, right?
Right.
So what will make what do you think was offered to them for them to want to turn their back on their race?
fame and fortune.
Yeah, so that's basically what I was asking earlier. Like, you think that's all it takes is just fame and fortune?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much because you got to understand these people, they really put in the work. Like they really were out there standing up, protesting and shit. But they only got so far with doing that, and they knew they couldn't get any farther without getting killed or thrown in jail. And America always play both sides. America, the government, the system, the powers that be, they always playing both sides. So they like, well, shit, you can keep doing what you're doing. We'll fund it, but as long as you don't bring it to a point where it actually does something and accomplish something, you will always be in your position and be looked at by the masses of people as a hero. So that's what it is. Like we going through a lot of that right now, actually, in the black community, man. We going through that now with a lot of people who have been always looked at as this person we should look towards for being a leader or whatever, being exposed for being something else, being fraud or scamming or doing something nefarious. It always been like that. And it was said that Martin Luther King, before he died, he knew he fucked up. He knew he fucked up big time. And he said that. That was documented. And he actually started talking different once he figured out, that he was doing wrong because he was led to believe he was doing something right and he got paid for it. He got a little money for it. So, yeah. From the Christianity shit, all that shit is just entities used to take us away from knowing who we truly are, bro. That's why you will see the Black history and they gotta throw Christianity in there. They gotta throw that shit in there. They gotta throw the sports in there. But our accomplishments exceed way beyond what their threshold is. So I just called in to say that and answer your question.
I appreciate that, man. That was a good insight.
All right, no problem. Have a good one.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what it took is money and fame. Yeah, because that's my other idea. Maybe they just told that they offered them, okay, look, you'll be a legend. You'll be one of the most important black women in black history, Rosa Parks. All you have to do is just say this, and we're gonna act like you're getting arrested, and then forever you'll be remembered, and your family will be well off. Forget those other black people. Worry about you, and worry about your family. They're gonna be straight. And every year we'll celebrate your birthday, and your family will get bonuses on that day, and this and that. Maybe that's all it takes. Bribery, man. But this is just unfortunate, man. If our black leaders are not standing up to the corruption, I mean, we definitely have no hope, man. I mean, stuff is sick stuff, man. And the funny part is the way that they remove all of them in 4230 rituals or 102 rituals, like a slap in the face. Like, look at this monkey, you know. He does what we tell him to do. Let's change her name from Margaret to Harriet Tubman. Let's give her a 2 or 1 name. Crazy, man. Crazy stuff. All right, man. But I'll leave it there, man. Please, again, leave a comment and help us understand better because there's still a lot of unanswered questions. I said that's the only way we're gonna really understand our Black history is if we all put our minds together, and because obviously these people are not on our side. All right, you guys, enjoy your Wednesday. Peace. Thank you for watching.